NATO's Secretary General Jen Stoltenberg meeting with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky this week in Kyiv for the first time since the war began.
Joining us now is former Air Force Brigadier General, NATO advisor, and Newsmax contributor Blaine Holt. Welcome, sir.
Good to be with you both.
General Stoltenberg says he is open to Ukraine joining NATO as former U.S. advisor to NATO. But is now really the right time for Ukraine to join NATO?
No, it's not the right time. And I don't really think that was the purpose of Secretary General Stoltenberg's remarks. He understands full well that Ukraine can't be a member right now. Were they to somehow miraculously get a unanimous vote to come into the alliance, that's essentially saying the alliance has now invoked Article 5 and would be at war in World War III. But what he is saying is that after this war gets wrapped up, whenever or however that looks, then the alliance will be very interested in bringing Ukraine into the fold. And that's still going to go through a political process to bear. What he's trying to do is create pressure on Moscow to say, we're going to take them in anyway, even though those were some of your stated goals, and to create political tension around the Kremlin and around Putin, that NATO's not backing down. NATO's still putting its arms around Ukraine.
You know, this headline came out from the Telegraph. Vladimir Putin is preparing to attack the UK. Now, I'm not buying into that, General, but I wanted to at least ask you your opinion after seeing that.
Yeah, so I read that article, and where we're at is probably a misinterpretation of Russian strategic intent. The Russians have spy ships. They've been operating off of the UK for quite some time. They're doing things. They're actually real intelligence in farms. They're communication lines underwater, pipelines. And they're very upset about Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2, no matter who claims they did it or didn't do it. And they're mapping out what it would look like to take apart England from around the island in the event of war. They're sending a message to the UK that they're preparing for war with the UK, but this is to keep pressure on them as the UK supports Ukraine. This has got two pressure points that they're pressuring them on, but it does not mean that Russia's got an imminent attack plan for the UK. War planning, certainly, that's very true.
And General, according to documents allegedly leaked by Jack Teixeira, that's a 21-year-old who somehow got some sort of clearance and was able to leak this intelligence information, ISIS is using Afghanistan as a terror base once again. After all the work, everything we've done there for 20 years in this disastrous withdrawal, how far back have we now set ourselves?
Oh my gosh, that answer is infinite. We set ourselves so far back the day we retreated out of Afghanistan the way we did. Think of everything we went backwards. We set the Taliban up in a way that they're far better off than they were 9/11. They've got power projection with terrorist groups in country, and they're starting to work together. You've got women that have gone absolutely backwards, back to medieval times, and the way that the Taliban brutalizes people has not stopped. And we will, and then our allies and partners are wondering what the heck we're doing and if we're a reliable partner or not. So this is the gift that keeps on giving. What I really like that you're doing is we're focusing now not on a 21-year-old getting access to that and leaking it. We're focusing now on what does that information say, and how does that imperil our national security, and what should we learn from it?
You know, General, as someone that's been on the ground in combat, when I say this, what you just spoke about is heartbreaking. I use that word specifically because how many of our men and women in uniform are committing suicide, and a big part of it is because they felt that the sacrifice that they made on the ground in Afghanistan and elsewhere was for naught. And we're worse off now than we were. So why did they do all this? It's one thing to say I lost my leg or my limbs or my whatever. I gave so much because I believed in the mission. And what is that mission now? I mean, has it all been obviated?
Well, we didn't have a proper end state. Through the 20 years of warfare, we never saw where the exit door was really going to end up being. Trump administration said, well, we're going to create one. It won't look like victory on the deck of the Missouri, but we're going to create one. but you're getting at the exact heart of the matter. What has happened to the force in the wake of the Kabul failure is this tremendous breaking of faith with the American fighting man or woman. This is a total departure of that, and it's horrific to watch.